Hi everybody, and welcome to our Week 6 Reflections video on language education policy and a little bit on critical pedagogy also. Let's take a look at what we saw this last week. So we were looking at language education policy in that chapter that we read from our textbook. I know that that was a heavy chapter, but it was really an important one. It was important for two main reasons for us in this course. One is for your certification exams. This is going to be some really important information that you'll see on those exams. And I promise you, when you get to the point where you're reviewing for those certification exams, you will want to come back to this chapter to review. So maybe stick a post-it note in this chapter that we just finished up this week and know that when you get to that point, which I know for some of you seems really far off, this will be a chapter that you will want to come back and review, because some of those court cases like Lau versus Nichols and Castaneda versus Pickard, you will want to come back and make sure that you know those names. But this is also important for our students because these are their educational rights that we're talking about here. So a lot of you talked about that in the discussion board, is thinking about when we think about critical pedagogy and think about what our students' rights are, for us as educators to know what some of these laws are about and what some of these court cases were about. It's important for us to know those and to come back and review those every once in a while. So I really enjoyed reading your discussion board post this week. I got some great ideas from a lot of you, and so it was really a great discussion. And just thinking about critical pedagogy, this is all about creating equitable learning spaces for all of our students, no matter what group of people they come from, no matter what marginalized places of society they're from. And so a lot of times the big question here is how. It's really easy to kind of talk about I would talk about this with my students, I would do this with my students, but sometimes when we really get down to it, when we're thinking about lesson planning for our kids, how would we do this? How would we institute critical pedagogy in their classrooms? And so I heard a lot of great ideas and a great starting point from some of you. Just to give you some ideas, kind of a start off, kind of a springboard to think about. When I was in the classroom actually as an elementary school teacher, the way that I would do this, because it was comfortable for me, and it's not necessarily always comfortable for everybody, but I would do it by the means of literature. For me, books are easy. It's an easy way of having a talking point, a springboard for people. And so these are some books that I would sort of keep on my bookshelf, a back pocket sort of plan, an easy place to start off a conversation. You might want to write some of these down and check them out yourself. Again, my area of expertise is elementary, but I also have worked with middle schoolers before and high schoolers in some capacities. And even though these are sort of aimed at elementary school students, I have used them both and also in a middle school capacity before. They're great texts talking to some extent. Some of them, the first two are about immigration. The third one is actually based on a true story about a police shooting of an African-American boy. And the last one is about educational equality, based also on a true story. And so I would just encourage you to take a look at how literature can be incorporated into the classroom and how it can be a springboard for conversations about tough topics. And I know a lot of you mentioned that it feels like sometimes having these conversations can put our jobs on the line and not feel comfortable. But they are important conversations for us to have because, again, our students are the future, and they're in a place where we need to be able to connect real occurrences with what's going on in their lives with what's going on in the real world. And so I want to leave it there, but I really enjoyed reading all of your posts this week also. An update on the SLP project, the student the SLP projects that are posted in your syllabus. There is an update. Unfortunately, just because of the situation that we're in right now with COVID-19, we were not able to get into the opportunity to be able to do some actual service learning with the students in the classrooms, even in the remote learning opportunities that they're having right now. And so this is going to be more of a video-based observation. And so all of the specific assignments that you need are posted under syllabus and course content in Blackboard. There's an assignments tab inside of that syllabus and course content tab. So make sure that you click on that sooner than later. It is not due until towards the end of the semester, but it's a rather large portion of your grade and it's a rather large project. So you want to make sure that you click in there, that you understand what the project involves, and that you go ahead and email me if you have any questions. So again, all of that is posted there already for you. Take a good look at it and make sure that you understand all of the pieces, and drop me an email if you have any questions. So good to chat with you all over the discussion board this week. Keep up the great work. You guys are doing a great job. Take care, everybody.